Hi, and welcome to Clearing the Chaos. And by chaos, I mean life in Dubai. If you're an educator planning to move here in the fall and you want a little insight on the culture of your school before moving, then this is the video for you. Stay tuned. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the KHDA school inspection report to gather a little bit of intel on your school culture so that way you're prepared for the transition. So you're probably wondering, who are you? I am Crystal. I have been living and working in Dubai since September of 2013. I came over as a secondary mathematics teacher, and I have transitioned into serving my school as a curriculum and assessment coordinator. So I've had the pleasure of going through these inspections for the last 6 years. I also have a weekly pleasure of meeting with the KHDA rep and working with moving my school forward from where we currently are to where we want to be to keep us in line with the national agenda. Again, I've been here for a while. I promise you I know a few things when it comes to this. So who is this KHDA that I keep referring to? KHDA is the Knowledge and Human Development Authority. They oversee all private education here in Dubai. They make sure that the students are getting the absolute best education possible. They have a rating system that they use, and they will rate a school from very weak to outstanding. Of course, you don't want to be in that very weak or weak, those categories. You don't want to be there. You want to make sure that you are moving towards good and above. So how do you know where your school currently is before you even step foot off the plane? Well, let's go to their website and look at it together. So you will go to khda.gov.ae, and because Arabic is the country's language, you will typically find the website in Arabic, but no worries, just go over to English on the left hand side and it'll translate it for you. So we're going to go to find school ratings. So because again they're over all private education here, so here is where we're going to stay, but they also are over private universities and training institutes, but we're interested in K-12 schools. Now, more than likely, if you are coming here from America, you're coming to work in American curriculum schools. Some people do go and work in the government schools, but more than likely you're coming into a private school, and that private school is going to offer the U.S. curriculum. Hey, that's why you were recruited. So I'm going to change it to that. I'm not going to particularly look at the school rating. I'm just going to randomly choose a school by name. But if you know your school, you can enter your school directly here and then pull up their report. So let's see. I'm just going to scroll. Let's see where my mouse stops. Let's look at Next Generation School. I don't know this school. I don't know anything about this school, but the website is going to tell me. So if they have a picture here, when you click on the picture, it will just enlarge it. And so you actually want to click on the rating in order to pull up the report. So this is the current year's report, school name, current rating, and the curriculum that they offer. And in this case, it is US. All right, so looking on this first page, which contains the school information, it's going to tell you where it is located, when it opened, how to get in contact with the principal. In this case, it says VP. Okay, the language of instruction is going to be English. That is a requirement for U.S. curriculum schools here. But one thing you want to keep in mind is here: when were they last inspected? Because typically what happens is KHDA will come in, they will do their inspection, they will give you recommendations, and then they will come back the following year. So if you're new, you know that you have some time to get adjusted to the requirements that they have. If you're new and you're coming into leadership, you have an opportunity to start working with the data, so that way you can speak to them. You can look at the recommendations and make sure that there are steps in place to make sure that those recommendations have been addressed, because they will ask you about it when they come. So they just had an inspection at the end of March, and so more than likely their next one will be March of 2020. So this is a mixed gender school. They go from ages 4 to 12, and that's KG1 to grade 7. Now here, I know when I first got here, KG1, I kept mixing up KG1 and KG2. It just did not make any sense to me. I was used to kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and so forth. KG1 is really like the equivalent of pre-K here. KG2 is our equivalent of kindergarten. So they have 1,300 students, almost 1,400. 317 of them are Emirati, and they have 65 students of determination. So what do students of determination mean? Now, I know at home we're used to saying SPED for special education, but here we say SEN. That's students with educational needs and disabilities, and those students are categorized as students of determination. Even when you go around the city in Dubai, it would say people of determination. We do not use the word in general handicap. We always say of determination. So let's look at the largest nationality of students, and that's going to be Emirati. They have 111 teachers, and for the most part their largest group of teachers are Americans. So more than likely when you go in, you will see a blended American kind of Arabic culture because of the students and the teacher population. Now, pay particular attention to their teacher turnover. The teacher turnover is 15%, which in my opinion is very good. Anything, I like to be under 20. 25% is pushing it. Dubai is a very transient area, and I would say the international market in general, because if it's not your home and you have situations where you need to go home, then you will end up leaving. So some turnover is expected, but when you start seeing very high percentages of teacher turnover, that kind of lets you know that maybe things are not structured in such a manner where teachers are encouraged to stay and grow and really better themselves in their profession, and so they leave. And so that's one thing you want to keep in mind. So just take a note of that on your school, and it just to help you prepare to, you know, do your best and live your best life. All right, if you will notice that this was their very first inspection. Now go back up here, you will see the school just opened in 2016. So KHDA usually gives about 3 years before they formally come in and inspect the school. So they will come in and do like a new school visit to kind of, you know, like to get you prepared. But after that 3rd year, they expect you to take their framework, and I will include the framework in the comments. So if you want to look at it and start getting familiar with them, because trust me, KHDA is not going anywhere. So the more information you know about them and how they function, the better it's going to be for you as a teacher and also you as a school leader. So if you look at the overall performance, again, it is unacceptable. And then they go through and they make a judgment in attainment. Now they have several things that they judge you for. As a matter of fact, there are 6 key standards that they look at. But when it comes to student achievement, they look at Islamic, they look at Arabic as a first language, they look at Arabic as a second language, and all students in grades 1 through 9 are required to take Arabic. They look at English, math, and science, and they look at them across 4 phases. Now, again, this school only goes up to grade 7, so they do not have a high school phase. So they will look at the school in their framework in KG, separately from elementary, separately from middle school, and if they have a high school, they will look at that as well. And then they make judgments. And the judgments range, if you go back here, from very weak to outstanding. So this school has just started their journey, and their very first time they were rated as acceptable. So let's take a look at another school. Let's see, New Academy. All right, let's look at this New Academy school. And because I had it set to American curriculum, so it should pull up all of the schools that are American curriculum. Remember to hit on the rating, and that's going to open the report. So hey, this school has been open since 1987. They have their principal was appointed on January 31st, 2018. So this principal is relatively new, even though the school has been open since 87. This is when they had their inspection. So if you were going to this school and you know that their last inspection was February 2019, then again, you can expect for the next inspection to be February 2020. Mixed gender again, but this goes to 4 to 18. So this is KG1 to grade 12. They have about 1,300 students on the roll. 700 of them are in Marathi. 54 of them are students of determination. Now, if you remember what we use for students of determination here in Dubai, go ahead and put that in the comments, because you're going to, as you transition here, you are going to hear that term again and again, because inclusion is such a big push. So students of determination, hey, what do we call it in Dubai? Put it in the comments for me. Let's chat. The largest group of students nationality is Emirati. Now let's look. They have 90 teachers. The largest nationality when it comes to teachers are Egyptian. So let's talk about culture. So you have the teachers and the students, for the most part, have an Arabic culture. So if you are just coming from America, more than likely you are not going to see what you will see at home. And so you have to be prepared for it. It will be different. Okay, so just keep that in mind. You have to come over here with an open mind. If you come thinking it's going to be like home, then you are going to get frustrated really quick. But here's another thing I want you to pay attention to. Look at this. The teacher turnover rate is 38%. That kind of tells me that there is a lot of change that is happening. And with this turnover, which I consider high, but this turnover, I would really brace myself, because I probably would not know what I'm walking into. I wouldn't have any expectations. I will walk in, I will assess the situation, because as an American teacher that they are going to recruit to come to this school, if that was the case, but with 38% teacher turnover, they'll be doing some recruiting. You want to know that you're coming in as the expert. Remember, the largest nationality of teachers are Egyptian. And so they'll be coming to you as the American with the experience and looking at you as the expert. So you have to also keep that in mind as well. There may be a lot of change because of the turnover. There may be a lot of processes and practices that don't align with the American model because of the student population and the teacher population. And that's okay. Just be prepared. Okay, so if you look at the journey of this school, it runs from, they were first rated as acceptable. They had a few years as weak, and then they pulled themselves back up to acceptable. Now, the end goal for almost all schools right now, if you are rated acceptable or below, is to move your school to good. Because the Sheikh has declared that Emirati students will only go to good schools. So you will hear a lot about the national agenda. You will hear a lot about 2021. That is the year, that's the 50th anniversary of the country's founding. And so the expectation is that Emirati students will go to good schools. And so this school in particular, I don't know the school again, but they may be doing a lot of recruiting. If you compare that to the school that we just saw at 17% turnover, then you would kind of like, maybe they don't have as many positions opening. So if you were looking, if you were a turnaround specialist and you're like, you know what, I know I can turn this school around, you might even send your CV to the principal and say, hey, this is what I can do for your school. This is what I know about the national agenda. These are some recommendations, or just really sell yourself and get here. All right, so that's all we're going to talk about today. I hope that you will take the time and go through a report, especially if you know the name of your school, you've already signed your contract and you're on your way to Dubai. If that is the case, go ahead in the comments and let me know when you're coming, because maybe we can have a meetup or something, and support each other. So if you already know, go ahead and put that in the comment section below. If you don't and you're like, hey Crystal, I'm just looking, that's fine too. Go ahead and tell me, hey, I'm just looking. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you did not like it, it's fine. Go ahead and give me a thumbs down. I will use that critical feedback to do a little better the next time. No problem. If you are interested in knowing when my videos will be uploaded, go ahead and hit the subscribe and ring the bell so you get a notification. And guess what? I like to chat. So if you're on social media, connect with me. I'm on Instagram and I'm on Facebook at Clearing the Chaos. So go ahead and let's start a conversation about you coming to Dubai and what are some of the things that you can expect.